Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here on this live stream. At whatever point you are watching it, whether you join me live or whether you are watching it on replay, it's great to have you with me. So if this is the first time you're finding me, then my name is Angela and this is my channel, Time Out with Angela, and it's great to have you. Feel free to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. So whenever I go live or upload a video, you will be notified. So what do we do here at Time Out with Angela? Well, this is a lifestyle channel and it's all about weight loss, wellness, and everything that contributes to that. So I've been on my journey to reclaim my health, improve my health, and within that to lose weight. I've lost 8 stone 2 pounds to date, a total of 115 pounds. And on this channel I share my journey, but also the tips and the hacks that has helped me to lose that weight over a 5-year period. I also cook. I show how to cook healthy meals and those meals that have supported me. I do a little bit of what I eat in a day and show that. I do shopping hauls. I love to shop. So do some shopping haul for food and just general household things. And I do a little bit of gardening in the summer. So it's a bit of everything, a little bit of everything. But it's all around building that healthy lifestyle that I suppose supports, I was going to say a healthy lifestyle that supports the wellness journey, but rather it's about having a healthy lifestyle and building a healthy lifestyle for life. And in building that healthy lifestyle, how just to be mindful so that around my choices so that weight loss happens. Yeah, that's a long-winded way to say that. But yeah, that's essentially what this channel is about. We like to have a little bit of fun and a little bit of chit chat too. But today, within that, I always like to come to you with something specific. So we have chit chat, but it's just not random, you know, chit chat. It is always with a specific purpose. And today I want to talk about 5 things that I wish I knew when I started my weight loss journey. And if you're new here, just to let you know that I am following the Weightwatchers plan, and I've lost, as I say, 115 pounds, which is 8 stone 2 pounds to date on the Weightwatchers plan. I rejoined in January 2019 for the umpteenth time, and that was the final time I was ever going to join. And yeah, so far I've had a successful journey overall. My average has been less than £0.5 a week, but what's helped me get to that large weight loss is being committed to my why and being consistent. But 5 things that I wish I had known when I rejoined the weight loss journey is what I'm going to share with you today. And I've got my notepad with my notes on, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm referring to that. So when I rejoined back in January 2019, one of Weightwatchers straplines that they often promoted in their marketing material, but also in their workshops, was that it's about making progress, not perfection. And it's still a line that a lot of coaches use. But I had to figure out for myself what that really truly meant, because that rolls off the tongue really nicely. It's about progress, not perfection. So on my journey, I had to really think, well, what does progress mean for me? And what does perfection look like for me. And I had to dig deep and really understand that, so that I could understand what my progress would look like. And then once I understood what perfection was, then not strive for that, and being okay if wasn't perfect. So I had to really stop and think about what progress meant for me. And for me, I live with a number of health challenges and health conditions. And I had to think about, okay, so because I was now thinking about my journey as being a long-term journey. Hi, Esther. Lovely to have you with me today. Hello, my lovely. So because I was seeing my journey now as lifelong, I wasn't going to be thinking about the journey as I've got to lose all of this weight in a year or 2 years. I had to look at my journey through a wide lens. So I had to think about, okay, I've got all of these health challenges, and these health challenges at times were crippling. So I had these health challenges, but I also knew that I'm on this journey for life. And there wasn't ever going to be an end date. So within that, what does progress look like for me? And I realized over time, and I didn't get this straight away, it took me some time to really work this out for me. I had to realize that for me, progress may be losing weight 1 week and not losing weight for the next 3 or 4 weeks. But also looking at things like, do you know what? I might not have lost weight for a month, but I've made some really good healthy choices. I've started to educate myself about what healthy choices look like. And that's not limited to meals and food. Yes, that was really important, but healthy choices for me was much bigger than that. It was about, making a healthy choice to organize my bedroom, get it nice and tidy, get it nice and neat, having some lovely fragrances in there. That was a healthy choice for me. Even when it came to decorating or choosing my bedding, that was a good choice, because I knew that those colors and that would contribute to a healthy environment for me, an environment that would help me to relax. It would also mean things like, setting a bedtime, creating a bedtime routine to help me relax, to soothe my body, soothe my mind, so I could get to bed and have a good night's sleep. All of those was about me making progress. Even like getting out when the weather was good and when I was able and moving my body and walking, even if it meant going out in the garden. It might be that there were some days that all I could do was just do a few steps or dance. That for me was progress. And I had to look at that and say, yeah, it's tiny, but it's still progress. I'd have to think, what else does progress mean for me? Progress for me was having a healthy mindset, looking at things in a positive way rather than on a negative way, learning to listening to my body and giving my body what it needed. And sometimes what it needed was that rest, was water, was to have an early night, was to get up and go for that walk. It might even be, I need to socialize. I need to be with my friends. I need to laugh. I need to have some fun. Maybe that progress is, you know what? I'm going to have a blowout and have that pizza. I had to learn to listen to what my body was saying. And I had to do those things without ever feeling guilt. because it was a lifelong journey, and that was about making progress. And as you know, I love listening to podcasts. Hi, Tony. Lovely to have you with me today. I had to learn to started listening to podcasts. And when I started listening to them, realized just how much I enjoy podcasts. And all of those kept my mind healthy, kept me learning about myself, about life, about other people, about other situations. At the moment, I'm listening to podcasts about religious cults. And I know it's like nothing to do with the weight loss journey, but it's my learning about how people live and people's experiences. It's just grown enormously. So for me, progress wasn't just about what I eat, wasn't just about the scales. I had to learn that progress was, at the end of the day, being satisfied with whatever it was I was doing and I had done. Yeah, so I had to learn. I started to learn what progress looked like for me outside of the scales. Yeah, indeed, Esther, mental progress is so important because, you know, we talk about mindset being the foundation for so many people on the journey. And I was working on that. So when Weight Watchers was saying it's about progress, not perfection, I had to really unpick that because it rolls off the tongue. It's a lovely statement. It's about progress, not perfection. When I weren't getting this result on the scale, don't worry about it. It's about progress, not perfection. Great, but I needed to understand what is progress? What is progress? What does progress look like for me? So that I could say, do you know what? I've made progress this week. And sometimes on my journey, the only progress that I could do was to listen to a podcast. The only progress I could do was to rest. The only progress I could make was get to bed early and have some sleep. And when I started to really unpack that, what does progress really truly look like for me? At the end of the day, when somebody asks me on a scale of 1 to 10, what progress have you made? I could put my hands up and say 10 out of 10. Because my progress wasn't just about food and it just wasn't about the number on the scale. My progress could be, do you know what? I listened to a podcast today and I laughed, or I listened to a podcast and it made me relax and made me look at the world differently. I listened to a podcast and I learned something about life. Or my progress this week was, you know, I had a soothing bath and got to bed early. So yeah, so I had to understand, what does progress look like for me? So I started to unpick that. And then I started to think, well, what does perfection look like? And I started to unpick that and say, okay, perfection for me would be having a plan and sticking to that plan every single day. You know, getting out, doing that, hitting those 10,000 steps every single day, that would be progress. Having a meal plan and sticking to that meal plan every single day, staying within my points budget every single day, staying within my weeklies if I chose to use them every single day or every week. It would be turning up to my virtual meetings or my studio workshop every single day. getting on the scales and losing 1 to 2 pounds every single week. That would be perfection. So when that rhetoric came, progress, it's about progress, not perfection. I had to be clear what those two things were. This is what progress looks like for me, and this is what perfection would look like for me. So when the coaches started to say, Angela, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Then it started to become really clear, because I knew what those measures were. I knew what those measures were. So I knew once I'd unpicked that and was clear what progress is and what perfection is, I could say, do you know what? I'm 10 out of 10 this week, because I've had 2 nights of really good sleep. That is progress for me. And I've not hit that scale. I've not got the result on the scale. I've not hit 10,000 steps every day. I've not stuck to my meal plan. I've not stayed within my points. But that's okay, because that's perfection. That's the yardstick of perfection. And I'm not going for that. What I'm going for is the progress. And the progress is what all of those things that I unpicked. I hope that makes sense. Whereas sometimes what I see in the community is I've not done my steps. I've not stuck to my meal plan. You know, I've gone over my budget. So therefore, my week is like, 2 out of 10, because people are striving for that perfection. And if they don't hit that, then they measure their week as it's not been a good week. So what I had to learn to do on my journey is to say, that's what they do, and that's fine for them. But for me, never am I going for that perfection. I'm going for the progress. So that's why if somebody asks me, how's your week been? Always been a great week. Always been 10 out of 10. Because I understand what progress looks like for me. And I hit that progress. So Sherry says, hi Sherry, great to have you with me. Progress is where the consistency happens. And when you reflect, you realize how far you've come day by day. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, hello, my lovely. So, yeah, so that's what I've realized on my journey, is those 5 things that I wish I knew was it's about progress, not perfection. And as I said, that rolls off the tongue really nicely, but I needed to really dig deep and understand what that meant to me, what progress looked like to me, and what perfection would look like. And then once I was clear on that, I knew I wasn't going for that perfection. I knew I was going for the progress. And I was always happy with the progress. So, yeah, so if somebody asks me, how's your week been? Always 10 out of 10. Always. Always. And that's not being about being smug or being cocky. It's because I've made the progress. Never striving for that perfection. Always making that progress. Even if I've just done 5 minutes of activity that week, because that for me is progress. So, yeah, so I had to really unpick that. So I wish I'd known that right at the start of my journey. And it took me a long time to get that. In fact, I wish I'd known that right at the very, very start when I joined back in the 80s, because that would have prevented me from stopping and starting, leaving and giving up and coming back. because back then I was going for the perfection. I thought if I hadn't hit those steps, if I hadn't stuck to me points, I couldn't do it because I was going for that perfection. So I wish I'd known that. And even when I rejoined back in 2019, it took me a long time to really understand what progress meant and how not to strive for the perfection. I had to break it down. What progress is, what perfection is, what is it I'm going for this week, what is it I'm not going for this week. And when I was able to do that, yeah, it became a bit easier. So Sherry says, so Esther says, you're the same. Yeah. And Sherry, that's how the plan allows these habits to address difficult mindsets and transformation. Your outlook on life, progress, not perfection, is important. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying, Sherry. We know that perfection, progress over perfection, and it rolls off the tongue. But I had to understand what progress looked like for me and what perfection looked like for me. And then realize that even if I could only do 5 minutes of walking, that was progress. So when somebody asks me, how was your week? It's 10 out of 10 because I did 5 minutes of activity. That was all I could do. But that was progress. I'm not striving for the 10,000 steps. Yeah. So, yeah, progress over perfection. Brilliant. Sounds great. But I had to unpick that and really unpick that. So I'm just conscious of the time because I'm back at work in 10 minutes and I've only got 7 minutes to go on here. I'm going to have to, I'll maybe come back a bit later and finish this off. So 5 things I wish I'd have known was the progress over perfection. I also wished that I had understood that 5 minutes of movement is better than nothing. 5 minutes, even 2 minutes, even 1 minute was better than nothing. And I think this is where the consistency comes in, because there were times on my journey I couldn't even get out of bed, let alone do 10,000 steps. And I think if I had understood that, just doing 5 minutes is good for me and my body, that I think would have helped me to embrace activity a little bit more. So yeah, sometimes, even now, the past couple of weeks, sometimes I will just stand and do a few knee lifts or a few arm raises, or just dance. Or if I'm seated, if I'm like in pain, just doing a few crunches, better than nothing. But again, not reaching for the perfection that I have to do 10 minutes. Hello, Frugal Mama. Great to have you with me today. My 5 things I wish I knew was progress over perfection. And also 5 minutes is better than nothing. Yeah. 2 minutes is better than nothing. Whatever I could do was great. I also wish I had more realistic expectations on the weight loss journey. And again, something I had to work through. So, not just Weight Watchers, but whenever you look, even on the NHS website, most health, wellness, weight loss programs tell you that 1 to 2 pounds a week is a healthy rate of weight loss. And I remember, and I'll be really honest, I remember sitting there calculating it. Well, if I lose £1 a week, that's £52 in a year. If I lose £2 a week, that's like £104 in a year. How much could I realistically do? And then pitching my plan to think, okay, I'm going to go for, and I don't know if anybody's done MyFitnessPal, but on MyFitnessPal, you could put the little toggle on to say how much weight you want to lose a week. And I'd go, right, let's go for £2 a week, So my expectations was totally unrealistic, because what I learned was there's so many factors that then impact weight loss. that nobody tells you when they're telling you you could lose £1 to £2 a week. Nobody tells you there's so many things that can impact it, such as your current state of health. And my health was like shot. Hormones, just generally, never mind menopausal hormones. Yeah, that impacts your weight loss. Your level of activity can impact your weight loss. All of these different things impacts your weight loss. Nobody told me that. I was just going, right, I can lose between £1 and £2 a week. I'm going to go for £2. And then started to get really frustrated. And in my first couple of weeks, gained weight. So having those realistic expectations. Hello, Kaz. Hello, my lovely. Great to have you with me. So having those realistic expectations, yes, that's what the guidelines is. £1 to £2 is a healthy rate of loss. But then when that wasn't happening for me, I had to go back to the drawing board. And that's when I decided, you know what? I'm not going to put a number on it. Instead of going for £1 to £2 a week, I'm going to go for healthy. That's what I'm going to go for. Because, and if you know my story, you'll know that I stopped weighing on a weekly basis because those numbers were really tripping me up. So I wasn't going for the £1 to £2 a week that Weightwatchers or this wellness and weight loss industry tells you. I decided, no, I'm going for health. And when I started to go for health, as you know from my story, everything changed because now I was feeding my body with that nutrition. I was repairing my body. I was healing my body. I was nourishing my body. And as I started to do that, started to see weight loss. And my third point is, along with that, is that weight loss isn't linear. That's something that I wish I knew. I wish I knew that I'm not going to consistently lose £1 to £2 a week. It's not going to happen. And for me, with my body, my health, my circumstances, my lifestyle, that has never happened. And it's not linear either. It doesn't go in a straight line. If you're looking at it on a daily or weekly basis, it is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. And that also threw me. It also threw me because nobody told me that. When I started on my journey 5 years ago, nobody told me that. I was just told, you know, follow the plan, you're going to lose weight. Yeah, £1 to £2 a week is what we're aiming for. Nobody told me I'm going to go up some weeks. I'm going to come down some weeks. Some weeks I'm going to stay the same. Some weeks I'm going to go up and I'm going to stay up. And I might even gain a bit. I might even gain a bit more. And in the past, it was those fluctuations that caught me out. They caught me out. And then because I didn't understand those fluctuations, why they were happening, didn't understand that they were normal, didn't understand that, you know, £1 to £2 a week was the industry standards, isn't necessarily going to happen for everybody. It didn't happen for me because I didn't understand that. Gave up. So I had this pattern of stopping, starting for years. Nobody told me those things. And I wish I had known those. And even when I rejoined 5 years ago, didn't know that. It was only over time that started to understand. And Weightwatchers is brilliant now. And, you know, there is more understanding, more knowledge now about fluctuations, and they are a bit clearer in explaining that, which is really, really good. Time is running out for me, guys. So the 5 things I wish I knew when I restarted my journey was, number 1, progress, not perfection. Number two is that even if I do a minute's workout, that is always going to be enough. Yeah. And it's a starting point to build on. I wish I'd known that I had to be really realistic with my weight loss expectations. I needed to be realistic with how much I could lose, and what that's going to look like. And even now, generally, after being on my journey for 5 years, and I look at my pattern, I lose more weight in the summer than I ever do in the winter. That's just my natural pattern, because in the summer, I'm not very active. And I've realized that I am more active in the summer, and activity just gives me that little edge. Activity doesn't necessarily make you lose weight, but it impacts your habits. But also the warmer weather, the brighter evenings, the longer evenings, all of those things impact my habits. And therefore, I see more weight loss in the summer. So those 5 things: progress, not perfection. Any activity is going to support. Be realistic with my weight loss expectations. Also, that weight loss is not going to be linear. It's not coming down. But also something that, again, I wish I knew was to explore different foods, try different things, find new favorites, because all of that just makes the journey a little bit more interesting. So guys, do you know, honestly, I could carry on talking for another half an hour, but I'm back at work in 7 minutes, and I've got to go downstairs and make me a cuppa. So I hope you found that of interest, and I hope maybe this, you know, maybe there's something that you could identify with in that. You know, I hope that resonates with you in some small way. But yeah, I hope you found that of value. Guys, thank you so much for being with me. I'm going to try and come back on a little later this afternoon, but if not, I will definitely be back on tomorrow. I've got a lot more time tomorrow, so we can have much more in-depth discussion. But Mondays are my really busy day with work, so it is literally slotting in a live as and when I can. But guys, thank you so much. If you've not done so, please hit that like button and like this video or this live stream. Share it if you can, but also you could really help me out by watching another video or another live stream. That would really make a difference. Guys, thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.